Yes, my people, I don't pause out. We to get asked Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, about Jesus. What he said shocked the whole world. Take your time and watch this video. Hit the comment section with your opinion after what you hit like on Facebook. We recommend it to everybody. Those of you that have not joined my WhatsApp channel, click on the link on the comment section. Share the video, corner the bar now. It's about to get down.
My dear brothers and sisters, today something happened that shook my heart in ways I did not expect. A moment so pure, so innocent, that it reminded me why I fight, why I speak, and why I stand before you today. I was speaking to a gathering like this, and suddenly a little girl, maybe 8 years old, stood up, holding a small notebook in her hand. She looked at me with eyes that carried no fear, no hate, only innocence and truth. And she asked me, with a voice as soft as the wind, a question so profound that for a moment I was silent. She said to me, "President Traore, who is Jesus to you?" And my brothers and sisters, when that question reached my ears, the world seemed to pause. Time itself slowed. The air grew heavy, like the weight of her words had stolen the wind from the room. I could no longer hear the hum of the microphones, the shuffling of papers, the restless murmur of the audience. The cameras, they stopped flashing, as if the lenses themselves were stunned. The whispers, those endless whispers that follow a leader everywhere, fell silent like raindrops frozen in midair. Every sound faded, every noise disappeared. It was as if the earth had stopped spinning just for that one voice, that small, innocent voice. Her question did not just enter my ears, it pierced my soul. It shook the foundations of my heart, and in that silence I could hear it. Not the applause, not the speeches, not the noise of this world, but the echo of her words, ringing like a bell inside me. Who is Jesus to you? Do you understand the weight of that, my brothers and sisters? In a world where people ask for power, for money, for favors, for promises, this little girl did not ask for anything but truth. She did not ask about politics. She did not ask about war. She asked me about the essence of my soul. She asked me about love, about faith, about eternity. And in that moment, I saw her standing there, tiny, fragile, yet holding the strength of 1,000 storms in her eyes. Her fingers clutched that little notebook, her knuckles white with nervousness, and yet her voice, steady, fearless, pure. The kind of purity this world tries to kill every day. I looked at her and I saw more than a child. I saw hope. I saw the reason we fight. I saw the reason we resist. Because what is leadership if not for children like her? What is freedom if not for souls like hers to grow without fear, without lies, without chains? That question was not just a question. It was a mirror. It forced me to look inside myself, beyond titles, beyond speeches, beyond the weight of a nation on my shoulders. It stripped away the uniform, the medals, the power, and it asked, who are you when the lights go out? Who are you when no one is watching? And my brothers and sisters, I tell you, for the first time in a long time, I felt small, not because I was weak, but because I stood in the presence of truth. Who is Jesus to me? That question, my brothers and sisters, is not a question for the lips. It is a question for the soul. It is not answered by intellect, by debate, by politics. It is answered by the heart and by the scars it carries. Who is Jesus to a man who has seen war and peace? To a man who has seen villages burned to ashes, children crying where laughter should have been, mothers digging graves for sons who never reach manhood? Who is Jesus to a man who has seen rivers of blood flow, not because of nature's fury, but because of man's greed? When you have stood where I have stood, when you have seen bodies without names, when you have smelled the smoke of lives turned to dust, you begin to ask yourself, what is hope? What is light? What is meaning? And then you hear his name, Jesus. A name that carries no sword, yet breaks chains. A name that does not roar like thunder, yet calms storms. a name that whispers in the chaos, peace, be still. Who is Jesus to a man who has seen betrayal and loyalty? My brothers and sisters, in leadership, you learn something quickly. Betrayal is not a stranger. It is a shadow. The closer you walk to the Son of Power, the longer the shadow grows. I have seen men I called brothers sell their honor for gold. I have seen friends trade trust for titles. And in those moments you wonder, is loyalty a myth? Is love just a word? But then I remember Jesus. How he chose 12, how he walked with them, taught them, loved them, and yet one kissed him for silver. One denied him 3 times before the rooster crowed, and still, Jesus did not curse them. He did not raise armies to destroy them. He forgave. He washed their feet before they betrayed him. Do you understand what kind of love that is? Who among us can love like that? I cannot. But Jesus did. And so, who is Jesus to me? He is proof that love is stronger than betrayal. He is proof that mercy is stronger than judgment. He is proof that even when men fail you, God does not. What is Jesus to a man who has seen death and life? I have held the hands of men as their last breath left their bodies. I have buried soldiers who died believing they fought for a better tomorrow. I have stood at graves so fresh the earth was still bleeding, and every time death whispers the same lie. This is the end. But Jesus broke that lie. Jesus stood before a tomb and said, "Lazarus, come forth." Jesus himself tasted death and then shattered its teeth. And that, my brothers and sisters, is not just a story. That is a promise that death does not have the final word, a promise that the grave is not the end of the road, but the beginning of eternity. Who is Jesus to a continent struggling to stand? Africa, my mother, my land of kings and queens, turned into a land of beggars by those who bled her dry, a land rich in soil, rich in culture, rich in spirit, yet poor because others stole her wealth and chained her children. Who is Jesus to Africa? He is hope when the world calls us hopeless. He is dignity when they strip us of pride. He is freedom when they call us slaves. Because Jesus was not born in a palace, he was born in a stable. He was not wrapped in silk, but in swaddling cloth. He did not dine with the mighty. He walked with fishermen, with the poor, with the outcasts. That means something to us. That means our worth is not measured by gold, not by crowns, not by thrones, but by love. That means the last can become first, the forgotten can become chosen, the oppressed can rise. And what is Jesus to a world drowning in greed? Look around you. Nations fight not for peace, but for profit. Corporations feed on hunger like vultures on corpses. They destroy forests for wealth. They poison rivers for gain. They trade human lives like commodities on a market. This world worships money as if it were God. And yet Jesus said, "What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?" My brothers and sisters, we have gained technology but lost humanity. We have gained luxury but lost simplicity. We have gained weapons but lost peace. And in this desert of greed, Jesus is the oasis. Jesus is the voice saying, "Life is more than what you own. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the peacemakers." His words cut through the noise like a sword of truth. And what is Jesus to a humanity desperate for hope? He is not just hope. He is the source of it. Because hope built on men will fail. Hope built on systems will collapse. But hope built on love, on truth, on sacrifice, that hope never dies. That is why 2,000 years later, tyrants have fallen, empires have crumbled, ideologies have burned to ashes. But the name of Jesus still lives. Why? Because his kingdom was not built on fear, but on love. And love cannot be killed. My brothers and sisters, who is Jesus to me? He is the question that humbles me. He is the answer that strengthens me. He is the compass that keeps me from losing myself in the wilderness of power. He is the voice that whispers, when the world tempts me with crowns, what does it profit you if you lose your soul? He is the mirror that shows me that greatness is not in ruling over others, but in serving them. And so when you ask me, who is Jesus? I tell you this: he is the friend who stays when the world walks away. He is the king who wears no crown of gold, yet commands the loyalty of hearts across centuries. He is the shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one lost sheep. He is the truth that cannot be bribed, the light that darkness cannot extinguish, the love that hate cannot kill. That, my brothers and sisters, is Jesus to me. And I pray one day he will be that to you too. I looked into that little girl's eyes, and I saw something rare in this world. I saw a thirst for truth. I saw a longing for love. And I knew that my answer could not be political. It could not be diplomatic. It had to be human. It had to be real. So I smiled at her and I said, "My child, Jesus is the breath of mercy in a suffocating world. Jesus is the light that shines even when the sun refuses to rise. Jesus is love in a world drowning in hate. Jesus is the friend who does not betray, the teacher who does not mislead, the healer who does not charge, the king who does not enslave." And I saw her eyes widen, like the stars were dancing inside them. And I continued. I said, "Do you know why Jesus is loved by billions? It is not because he ruled armies. It is not because he built palaces. It is not because he sat on golden thrones. No. Jesus never wore a crown of gold, he wore a crown of thorns. He never rode on chariots of silver. He walked on dusty roads with bare feet. He never conquered nations with swords. He conquered hearts with kindness. He did not come to take, he came to give. Love, forgiveness, hope, and salvation." And as I spoke those words, the hall grew silent. I could feel the weight of his name settling on every soul in that place. I told that little girl, "My daughter, in this world, power is measured by how many kneel before you. But Jesus, his power was measured by how many he lifted up. Kings of this world sit on high thrones so no one can touch them. But Jesus, he walked among the poor, touched the untouchable, healed the broken. Tell me, what leader do you know who washes the feet of his followers? What king lays down his life for his people, not for glory, not for empire, but out of love?" And then I looked at the people in that room and I said, "Do you understand the meaning of that? Do you see why, 2,000 years later, his name still shakes the earth? Because love, real love, does not die. Truth does not die. Mercy does not die. Empires fall, crowns rust, weapons turn to dust, but the name of Jesus still lives, still heals, still forgives." My brothers and sisters, listen to me. We live in a world where men kill in the name of power, where they build walls instead of bridges, where they exploit the weak and call it politics. But Jesus, he gave his life for the weak. He broke walls of hate. He said, "Let the little children come to me." Do you understand the depth of that? He opened his arms to the smallest, the poorest, the forgotten. He saw value where others saw nothing. And I said to that girl, "Do you know why your question matters? Because the world has forgotten love. The world has forgotten mercy. But Jesus is the reminder. He is the voice that whispers to our hearts when we are lost. He says, 'Forgive them, for they know not what they do.'" Who else says that? Tell me who forgives while nailed to a cross, who prays for his enemies as they kill him. That is love beyond human understanding. That is love. Because who is love? Who prays. And when I said this, I saw tears in the eyes of people who thought they were strong, men who carry guns, women who have buried their children. They cried not because of my words, but because deep inside every soul longs for that kind of love. A love that does not betray. A love that does not end. I continued, "My brothers, my sisters, if the world lived like Jesus taught, would we have hunger? Would we have war? Would we have oppression? No, because Jesus did not teach hate. He did not teach greed. He did not teach division. He taught love your neighbor as yourself. He taught blessed are the peacemakers. He taught blessed are the peacemakers. If leaders understood that, we would not see nations burning. If corporations understood that, we would not see children starving while vaults overflow with gold. If every human understood that, this earth would be a paradise. I looked back at that little girl and I said, Jesus is not a story. He is not a holiday. He is not a painting on a wall. He is life. He is truth, and truth does not age. Truth does not die. And then I asked her, do you know why I fight? Do you know why I stand against those who exploit my people? Because I learned from men like Jesus. I learned that silence in the face of injustice is betrayal. I learned that life without love is death in disguise. I learned that the greatest power is not in weapons, but in hearts that refuse to hate. And I could see her little lips trembling like she wanted to say something but could not. So I bent down, took her hand, and said, never let this world make you forget Jesus. Not because of religion, not because of ritual, but because of his love, because of his truth, because of his light. My brothers and sisters, when that moment ended, I realized something. The question of that child was not for me, it was for all of us. Who is Jesus to you? Is he just a name in a book, or is he the compass of your soul? Is he a memory, or is he a living truth in your actions? Because if he is only a story, then the world will keep bleeding. But if he is a guide, then there is hope. And so I told everyone in that hall, do not speak of Jesus if you cannot live like him. Do not praise his name while hating your neighbor. Do not build churches and forget the poor. Do not shout, Lord, Lord, and then oppress the weak. If you love him, live him, because his message was simple. Love God, love people, everything else is noise. And that, my brothers and sisters, is the truth. That is why, when a little girl asked me about Jesus, I could not give her politics. I could not give her empty words. I had to give her my heart. Because Jesus is not theory. Jesus is not debate. Jesus is life. Jesus is love. And love is the only power that will never fall. Remember this, my brothers and sisters. One day, every throne will be empty. Every single one. The golden chairs of kings, the high seats of presidents, the mighty offices of power. Silent, abandoned, covered in dust. The palaces that men kill to sit in will become ruins for tourists. The crowns that glitter under the sun will turn to rust. Thrones do not last forever. No matter how high you sit today, tomorrow the ground will claim you. And not just thrones. Every empire will vanish. The empires we read about in books, the Romans, the Persians, the great dynasties, they were once so powerful that people thought they would last forever. But where are they now? Broken statues, forgotten languages, stories in history classes. And the empires of today, the nations that think they own the world, the corporations that think they can buy everything, they too will fall. The wealth they hoard will rot. The buildings they build will crumble, and every name will fade. Even the names carved in stone will erode. The names sung in anthems will become whispers in the wind. Do you understand what I am saying? There is no name that time will not erase, except one. The name of Jesus, that name does not belong to time. It does not bow to history. It does not age. It does not rust. It does not fade. That name lives in the hearts of billions. That name is written not on stone, but on souls. And that, my brothers and sisters, is why it echoes through eternity. Because Jesus was not a king who ruled by fear. He was not a conqueror who marched with armies. He was a servant who washed the feet of his followers. He was a shepherd who left the 99 for the one. And because of that, his name carries a power that no weapon can destroy, no empire can silence, no time can erase. Crowns break, crowns fall when heads fall, but love does not break. Love is eternal, and Jesus is love. Pure, uncorrupted, unconditional love. A love that does not ask, What can you give me, but asks, what can I give you? A love that does not demand thrones, but sacrifices itself on a cross. A love that forgives even while bleeding. Do you understand how deep that is? This world builds monuments of stone, but they crack. It writes laws, but they change. It builds nations, but they collapse. Yet the simple words of Jesus, love one another, have outlived every kingdom, every dynasty, every crown, and they will outlive every empire still standing today. So when you walk out of here, remember this truth. Do not chase crowns, do not worship empires, do not sell your soul for a name in the sand, because the sand will blow away, the sea will wash it, the earth will swallow it. But build your life on love, because love is eternal. And when you do, you will find Jesus, because Jesus and love are one. One day, the earth will be silent. The voices of kings, the boasts of tyrants, the slogans of politicians, they will all be gone. But one voice will still echo in the hearts of men. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That voice will never die. That, my brothers and sisters, is why we stand. That is why we fight for justice. Not because we crave power, but because we believe in love. And love, real love, cannot lose. It cannot die. It cannot break. Because crowns break, empires break, names break, but love does not. And Jesus is love. So my brothers and sisters, let us live like that. Let us fight for justice like that. Let us fight for justice like that. Let us raise our children like that. Because if the world ever understands what Jesus truly stood for, then wars will cease, hate will die, and humanity will finally be free.